Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello, and welcome to Season 2 of the Midlife Mentors.
Hello, it's Claire here too, obviously, the sidekick. We've missed you guys. We were so thrilled with the response we had from Series 1, weren't we?
We were. So it feels like ages to us since we spoke to you. Hopefully it hasn't felt that long to you guys. But I just want to say a massive thank you for the response. We had loads of great 5-star reviews and very...
26 on iTunes to be precise at the moment.
Awesome written reviews with some very kind words. Thank you. It means a lot to us.
It really does.
And we also managed via a new site, Chartable, to look at our chart positions, which was also somewhat surprising. I think we got in the top 25 in the UK for fitness at one point.
And we were 13 for one of our episodes in the health and fitness category in the US, which was like so phenomenal, and we are so grateful for that.
But the big news is, Claire.
Oh, hang on. Hold on to your hat.
Number one for health and number one for fitness in Hungary.
Oh, everyone loves us in Hungary.
We're big in Hungary.
So thanks everyone in Hungary.
Sounds like a boy band from the 90s just starting out. Big in Hungary, but they're going to break UK soon.
Was that the band you were in? So they promised you'd be big in the UK at some point, you just quit. No, so we were like, you know what? If we've made people happy and pleased with Series 1, then we're going to come back with an even more of a storming Series 2. We've got some amazing people lined up for interviews. So we're going to do this whole series a little bit differently. It's going to be a bit of a mix and match of James and I, which is this one, to intro you back in.
And some guests who we've handpicked. I've got some really interesting stuff to say. Basically around life in general, but specifically around midlife and about how to optimise things for yourself, I'd say.
Yeah, some of them are kind of like how they've overcome the odds and difficult times in their life, and, you know, have some really, really interesting things to share. That's James's phone pinging in the background. He just told me off for potentially having my phone not on silent, but his is pinging all over the place, left, right and centre.
I'll fix that right now. But yeah, basically we've got some really inspiring guests, people we find inspiring. And we have ones like this as well, where it's just Claire and I talking about various things. And it just does mean the world to us that we've got your support and your reviews. So I hope you've enjoyed it and continue to enjoy it and carry on listening.
Okay, side note, I've just run off and got his phone and turned it off for him, because that's a good Wi-Fi I am.
Amazing.
I'm going to get a smack in a minute.
So this episode, we'll tell you what we've been up to in between seasons.
What haven't we been up to?
But you probably want to know what's coming in this episode. So we're going to talk basically about the secret to staying young and aging well, and actually quite kind of almost dodging death, because we found some really interesting research.
Almost dodging death.
Really interesting research.
I think if we'd found that, we'd be millionaires immediately.
Yes, we would. But yeah, basically the secret to staying young and aging well through training and exercise this time. So nutrition obviously plays a part, but we're going to basically break down a lot of the physiological changes that are going on in the body, hormonal changes, and what those do to the body, and what you can do to offset that through training and exercise.
We'd all like to live longer, and we thought, would people like to know that? We thought they probably would.
Live longer and live better with a better quality of life.
Yeah.
Now, secret, we recorded this once already, but then Claire told me off for being too scientific and geeky. So...
Oh, Guy, it's really fascinating. I find this really fascinating. Thank God I do, because I'm married to him. But he just went a little bit too science-based, bless him. So I might even have to rein him in a little bit on this one.
You might do.
It's fascinating stuff. And actually, the way that we've been working with clients for a number of years now, with regards to exercise, as James said, the nutrition thing is a side note. We've done some episodes really on nutrition and stuff. We really wanted to dive under the skin basically of how to optimize and live longer at midlife when it comes to exercise, because we can get it wrong, and if we can do better, then we're going to reap more rewards. So we thought we'd share it with you. But actually, the way we've been training our clients, the way we work ourselves as well, live and breathe it ourselves, is now scientifically scientifically proven
Multiple study backed.
that is actually the best way to, maximise your chances of not dodging death, but, living longer and happier.
Yeah. So we're going to talk you through some of the research, and at the end, as always, we want to make it applicable and useful to you. So we're going to then talk you through kind of an example of what a training or exercise schedule could look like, what a typical week could look like. So stay tuned to the end, so we're going to talk you through that. Before we get going on the secret to staying young, a little bit of what we've been up to, Claire. We've been here, there and everywhere, haven't we? So
yes, we ran a fitness festival for our corporate client. As soon as we got back from Ibiza, we drove, firstly, we drove from Barcelona to London in a day with the aircon broke. That was pleasant.
And it is doable, but we strongly recommend against it.
Yeah, and poor little Lola, our dog, she's a Pomeranian, so she's incredibly fluffy. And she was looking at us as if to say, you... beep, beep, won't say it because she's in a fur coat in a non-air-conditioned car, poor thing. So made it even worse.
But the aircon is now fixed for the return trip, and we were back in Ibiza in about
2 weeks.
2 weeks, actually.
Yeah, fitness festival, we did that for our corporate client.
We spent some time in Surrey. We caught up with some of your friends. We were down in the Scilly Isles in Cornwall, which is just a beautiful part.
Must go. It's a bit of a pain in the backside to get to, guys, but it's stunning, absolutely stunning down there.
It's a tiny archipelago about 30 miles off the tip of Cornwall in England.
Beautiful. Then we've been in London with meetings, diving back down to London next week before we go back to Ibiza.
So it's funny, we have our online platform, the Academy, and we do like a live workout with our members every Wednesday morning with this early morning live workout,
without
stream
fail,
live.
Wherever we are.
It's just been like every week we're like, ha, new location.
Here we are.
Everyone's like, where will you be next week? We're not sure.
We really don't know. From day to day, we don't really know. Like with the littlest hobos. So, with our little dog. So that's what we've been up to.
Yes.
So we just wanted to give you an update before we dive into the secret to staying young and aging well.
So let's set
Mr. D, do you want to start?
Yeah, let's set the scene around this, because this is something I get asked by clients a lot. Obviously, they're like, "What's the best way to train?" I always put "best" in inverted. You can't see me doing my inverted commas with my fingers, but I am.
He's doing them.
And listen, there are research-backed ways to train that will give you more bang for your buck, that are more optimal for you. But we'd always say the best exercise you can do is the one that you are going to do. So although we're going to give you a lot of information here, let's just remember that fact. Do something you enjoy and you love, because then you're going to be motivated to keep doing it. If you like going for long swims and that really sets you off and floats your boat, then carry on doing that by all means, because the exercise you do is the important exercise.
Well, because if we're starting from zero, something is better than nothing, and just building up. So not feeling the pressure to do what we're talking about. We're not saying that this is the right way for every single person, but what we're saying is this is kind of the optimal way if you're interested to kind of, maximize health and happiness into midlife and beyond. So anything is better than nothing, and do the thing that you enjoy.
Okay, so having said that, Claire and I are quite geeky, and we love to look at research. We can research all the time and find stuff. And no secret, we do love our weights, and Claire in particular has a passion for kind of empowering women to lift and be strong, which is amazing as well. But this was kind of triggered by that esteemed publication, the Reader's Digest, which I didn't even know was still going. But I've got a feeling it might be online only. But they had a piece in there. People in middle age returning to exercise and what to avoid. Now, I will say, with my balanced hat on, in fairness, they were kind of coming at it from if you've been sedentary for a long time, you don't want to injure yourself. So they were giving a lot of things to avoid. But having said that, if you look at a lot of the research out there about the types of training and types of exercise that's going to give you improved health and longevity, their exercise was terrible.
Yeah, what they were saying to avoid was it basically had people over midlife packaged up and put in cotton wool. So it was kind of like the kind of feel of it was actually it's all downhill. you know, and you've got to be really careful about what you do because actually your body's really, you know, weak and fragile and all that kind of stuff. That's the energy. And when we shared it to our group, that was kind of the feeling they got. But, you know, that's not what we want for our lives. It's not what we want anyone that comes into contact with our method to feel like. We want to empower people so that they kind of feel strong from the inside out for as long as they can.
Yeah, we're all about energizing people. And, you know, listen, if you're coming back after a long layoff or no exercise, 100% you need to take it easy and really ease into it and probably work with someone to learn proper form and gradually progress into it. But, you know, if you want to be energized, you need to train at intensity and do some of this stuff. So the stuff they were saying to avoid was basically all the big compound movements that we love. Like, so no squats with weights, no bench pressing, no deadlifts. They said to avoid HIIT, high intensity interval training, avoid burpees. I mean, yeah, if you're injured, if you've got issues, that's all good advice. But if you actually want to benefit from your training, those are exactly the type of things that you probably want to be doing.
Yeah, it just gave the wrong impression. I think it made people that read it feel a little bit like, oh, God, I should be really, really careful.
Yeah. And we see this. So what does the current landscape look like? When we see people training or we're in gyms, what do we see?
Oh, I see this all the time. Can I say this? Because it is one of my... And it's actually, here's the thing, it annoys me because I used to do it. But I think obviously at midlife it gets even worse. I think what a lot of the time, the stuff that we used to do in our 20s and 30s, it doesn't work so much anymore. You know, it does.
You're talking in the gym or other stuff?
We're talking about exercise, James.
Okay.
Oh, it's always in the gutter. So basically, you know, the things that we do, and James is going to explain a little bit about why, but the things that we used to do if we have exercised a majority of our life, whatever, don't necessarily work so much as we enter midlife. As I said, we'll talk about why. So a common misconception is if you do more cardio, do more and more cardio more frequently, you know, you're going to be able to counteract the fact that you are, as we're aging, laying on more fat and finding it a little bit more difficult to get rid of that. So we see this a lot where they up the amount of time they're doing it and up the frequency. And actually what we're going to say is that is the wrong way. You know, I know it's a bold statement, but it is kind of the wrong way to deal with what's happening at midlife.
Yeah, and also, listen, your body kind of gets used to anything you do. So if you train in a certain way all the time, it in effect becomes easier. Your body stops adapting to it. So, you know, if it's like every day you go for a 40-minute run, if you start from zero, that's going to be hard to work up to. But once you've been running 40 minutes every day for a year, your body does it really easily.
We see this all the time
so
with
you
clients.
need to bear it up. And actually, just remind me, I've seen the most amazing thing today in the gym. There was like kind of like a abdominal crunch machine. And there's a guy.
No, he's shaming.
I'm not shaming,
No,
but
I'm
as an
only
example
kidding,
of when people go wrong.
It is. And it's sad because they're not being kind of guided in the right way.
He obviously wants to work his midsection, but he literally sat on it for an hour solid, just doing like crunches for an hour solid. And apparently he goes in there 2 to 3 times a day to do 2 to 3 hours of it, which is probably achieving not a lot, actually.
No, I know. So I guess what we're trying to do is hopefully create some parameters around which you can start picking and choosing which ones you do. But I think another reason that people are fueled by articles like Reader's Digest, you know, people are being given the wrong information. They are worried about injury, which is understandable, but at the same time we don't want it to pull back on your confidence. Like hopefully you know, what we do with our clients is give them confidence to do things a little bit outside their comfort zone so they get good results. The perception that it's just too hard when you say to someone HIIT, high intensity, I mean the word intensity kind of obviously makes people run a mile, but actually the perception that it's too hard and that they can't do it, and hopefully we empower again people to believe that they can, and by giving them the science behind it hopefully spurs them on to do it.
And is it time for me to dive into the science, Claire?
He's gone all
I'm
quiet.
itching.
This is super fascinating. I mean, it really, really is what's going on with the midlife body.
Right, so as we age, obviously our bodies change. This is for men and women, our bodies change. And most of that change is due to hormonal changes in the body. Lots of things going on. The key ones are testosterone for both males and females. Men will generally lose about 1% of testosterone per year from about 30 onwards. For women, testosterone levels will will vary with the cycle, but after you hit menopause, they drop significantly. So that has a role. Testosterone obviously is key for helping preserve lean muscle mass and to some extent driving your metabolism. The one we're going to focus on today is human growth hormone, or HGH as we all call it for short, produced in pituitary gland.
As we all call it.
So human growth hormone plays a key role in many regenerative processes in the body. It's got a positive effect on our skin, our body composition, our muscle tone, our mood and energy, our sleep quality, and our bone density. It's basically a bit of an elixir controlling everything. It's produced in our pituitary gland. It helps us regenerate tissues, which includes bones. So it helps bone density, includes muscle, helps with everything basically. Now, the scary thing is this will decline about 12 to 15% a decade from around our 30s onwards. And by the time you're 60, you'll have about half the amount you had when you were 25. So clearly what we want to do is look at ways we can boost HGH. Now, one way you can do this, because obviously one way is to take HGH supplements or injections, which is becoming like quite a big business now, particularly in the US. But one way you can do it is through exercise. And there's been lots of research into this, and particularly with middle-aged or older individuals as well. In a nutshell, all exercise will boost your human growth hormone levels. About 15 to 20 minutes after you finish, you'll get a big spike up for about 15 to 25 minutes, which will then come back down to your baseline level. Now, important to say here, your baseline, there's no studies yet, unfortunately, that show that doing regular exercise will increase your HGH baseline over time. However, what we're interested in here is the short-term effects. Obviously, if we can get that big HGH turbo boost, it's switching on everything. It's helping generate muscle mass. It's helping with our bone density. It's doing all those benefits, all those things we want it to do.
Increasing our metabolism.
Aerobic exercise and weight training, resistance training, will both increase your HGH. This is where it gets interesting. If you train for too long, say over around 2 hours, you'll also get a spike in cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So what will happen then is, although we've spiked our HGH up, our cortisol levels also rise up, which will largely cancel out the benefits we're getting, because it kind of works against the testosterone and the HGH. Also, aerobic exercise specifically done for too long, your HGH levels will spike, but then fall below your baseline, which is not what you want.
Can I just jump in here? Sorry, Don't want you to lose your thread. But with women with the perimenopause and the menopause, when your estrogen levels are also starting to dip, this is really important because your body doesn't handle stress as well. So basically, with those lower estrogen levels, your body is more prone to stress, and actually raising that cortisol level. If you're doing really, really long sessions of working out, whether it's cardio or weights, whatever, you're putting your body, that cortisol is going to rise, and you're putting your body under even more stress. So women out there, we've got lowering estrogen levels. It's going to actually cause even more damage, really, and actually negate the human growth hormone boost you're going to get. So, I just wanted to jump in there to make that relevant for us ladies as well. So sorry, I kind of jumped in there, Mr. D.
That is absolutely fine. Very much so. So we've told you there what you need to do is basically exercise, but not exercise for too long. And particularly at age as well, recovery is a really important part. So what should you be doing? Well, there's evidence to show that a short burst of aerobic at intensity, i.e. you'll hit 15 to 20 minutes, will kickstart that HGH spike. Because of the way that actually interacts with the insulin and glucogen in your body as well to utilize glucose and energy source, doing that first and then going to your resistance training, your weight training, actually amplifies the effect of the HGH release. So ideally, we want to be looking at a 15 to 20 minute HIIT session, very, very short break while we towel off and recover, and then into your lifting session, which you want to keep probably no longer than 45 minutes. So we're looking at like an hour to an hour and 10 minutes for your total session. That means although your cortisol is going to come up, it's not to the high levels that's going to negate the effects you're looking for. Make sense?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a geeky. I love all of that stuff. I think that's really, really super interesting because, like, we all want to. I don't think there's anyone sitting there going, "I don't want to feel amazing, look amazing, have a higher metabolism, have a stronger bone structure, like have a more muscle mass. So I'm actually like a fat." But I don't know anyone that is going to sit there saying, "I wouldn't like those things." So actually, the way that you design your workouts, we're going to actually talk a little bit about what that looks like in a week. How you actually design those workouts, allowing for enough rest, of course, is really, really important. So this is what we're sharing. Just on the whole rest thing, again, I always talk from the female perspective. As our progesterone dips as well, as we go into perimenopause, it can disturb sleep. So obviously that raises cortisol levels as well, the stress hormone cortisol. So what we need to do is allow ourselves some rest time as well so that our body can rejuvenate and replenish after the workouts.
And in case you're wondering what kind of effect you could get, well, I've got a study here from the International Journal of Sports Medicine, 1995. So this was looking at men 55 to 70 years old on a progressive 16-week weights program, basically. So they were lifting weights but getting progressively heavier, standard kind of training plan. A bout of resistance training on average raised HGH levels 18 times higher immediately post-exercise. So that is quite some hit. And now the people in this group, on average, increased their upper body strength 37% and their lower body strength 39%. So you can see already that HGH spike also tying in with an increase in functional strength. Now, why might that be important? You might think, I don't need to be strong. I got another study, which I found only today, actually, which is absolutely fascinating. It was looking at 4,400 adults who'd had their strength and their muscle mass assessed back between 1999 and 2002. And they're in their 50s. You were still
working at Ministry of Sound then, weren't you, James?
Yes, I was. And then the researchers went back and looked at the same group again in 2011, and they found that those who were assessed with low muscle strength were over twice as likely to have died during that period of time.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this wasn't about muscle mass. So muscle mass had no effect one way or the other, but having low strength basically massively increased your chance of mortality.
It's fascinating but scary stuff. So, shall we talk about how this might look in a week? And actually what HIIT is, right? Because actually some of you might not really understand what HIIT looks like, what it is, and also resistance training. We keep interchanging resistance training and weights. So HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. And the first I is intensity. So basically what this is like for healthy, this is a healthy heart. This is cardio, right? So this is giving you that kind of healthy heart, cardiovascular system. It's increasing your lung capacity as well for fitness and endurance. There's so many benefits to doing this kind of training. Over and above what James has talked about. And this could be like anything, we're more than happy to always, if you've got any questions about this, do ask. But it's kind of basically going all out with the intensity, then breaking for, a 30 seconds, whatever. So it's going full on resting, full on resting, full on resting. And how that might look is you don't have to, go into a gym to do that. You can set a timer and choose a few body weight moves where you're going really, really hard and then resting, going hard and then resting. And you can take it into a gym, of course. So you can set a timer again for having like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off a treadmill, for example, or a rowing machine.
Or a bike.
Or
you could do it outdoors with sprints, or we call fartlek training, where you vary your pace on running. Or back home again, you could even just get a skipping rope again, set timer to skip really fast for 30 seconds, rest for 10 seconds, etc. Vary the intervals.
So the two I's are kind of intensity and interval, and that's what makes it so super, super effective. And this is how we train ourselves. It's how we've actually helped change the body composition of so many of our clients. We're very grateful for doing that, and they've been following this kind of program. So that's your HIIT, and then obviously followed by ideally a weight session or a resistance training session. Now, I know this isn't just applicable to the ladies. Guys, can always have a lack of self-confidence when they're going into the gym as well. So what I really want to say here, and we always say this, you don't have to go into a gym to do resistance training. You do not have to go, lifting crazy weights where you're not comfortable. You can build up to it. If you want to go and do that eventually, great, when you've got a bit more confidence. But you don't have to go into a gym. So my whole Ibiza Beachbody program that was actually launched last year is all a home-based HIIT workout plan, along with using kettlebells as your resistance. Even that, lovely people, is going to just create such a difference, not just to life longevity, but to your body shape. This is the thing I always say to women when I see them just doing cardio, and I'm like, ladies, your body shape's not changing. We need to add some resistance in here.
Also interesting, Claire, just on that, on the aesthetics, human growth hormone, there's a feedback loop between that and body fat, particularly abdominal fat, and also insulin levels. So this is an important thing, like HGH getting higher will actually make you leaner. You'll reduce your body fat. Conversely, if you have a lot of body fat, it's going to inhibit your HGH production. The same if you have a lot of sugar in your diet, it's gonna inhibit it. If you can raise your HGH, it's going to help your insulin levels stabilize that. So there's that feedback loop to consider as well of getting the fat down.
Yahoo! So grab a pen, people. So we want to always give you a little takeaway. So how would this look in a normal week? Well, basically you get up, you do your HIIT session, which you now know what it is. Again, these are all in our programs, especially like our Fit Over 40 program. This is all laid out in exactly this way, actually. But you do your HIIT workout, just wipe yourself down because you want to be sweaty. We want to see some sweat, people. And then after you've recovered, then do your weights workout. And again, weights doesn't mean necessarily doing deadlifts and heavy squats and things like that. It could be just a kettlebell, but going straight into it. So you might want to do a full body workout with that weight session. So using those weights for upper body and lower body moves like squats, front raises, shoulder presses, all that sort of thing. So that could be Monday.
Yep.
Then on Tuesday, what do?
We rest.
We rest because our beautiful midlife bodies need to relax and regenerate. So then on Wednesday, we do a different kind of HIIT workout, and we might want to do a different kind of full body weights workout. So alternating the moves basically on that second weights workout. Then what do we do on the Thursday?
We rest.
And then on the Friday, we do a different kind of HIIT workout with different intervals to always keep your body guessing and to keep it interesting and exciting for you and pushing you. And then you do some different moves again with the full body weights resistance workout on the Friday. Now, if you love your spin classes, if you love your runs, whatever.
Cycling.
You're cycling.
Saturday or Sunday's your day.
Saturday or Sunday, but just make it low impact, okay? So make it a bit lower. You've gone all out. Just make sure that you're doing what you love, but actually just taking it a little bit easier so your body has time to recover.
I think that's really, really useful there. And as always, like Claire said, if you want to ping us any questions, then please do so. I'm just going to throw one last bit of research. Actually, we talked there about
just can't restrain his geekiness.
Human growth hormone and listen, the health benefits and why you want to do this. And give you one last thing, a study that looked at 80,000 adults in England and Scotland who'd had their physical activity assessed during the 1990s, and they looked back at them. And I basically found those that had done strength training and aerobic training had a 29% reduction in mortality. So you're cutting your mortality risk by a third by mixing up cardio and weights.
Like we tell you.
I think that just speaks for itself.
So I hope you have found that interesting. As always, let us know your thoughts. Again, we're open to suggestions about what you want us to talk about. Please give us some feedback. Please let us know what you want us to talk about. We'd be delighted to hear from you. And I know this goes from both of us. Again, welcome to Series 2.
So excited for this series. We've got so many great things coming in this season.
We're trying to control our excitement of not splurting the names out of who they are, but we know you're going to find them so fascinating, touching on so many topics that affect us at midlife, everything. So can't wait to share that with you. Again, thank you for your support and your love.
Thank you.
Sending lots of bye.
listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under The Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.